Okay, big news. Kennedy's back.
Big news. Kennedy can burp.
She can burp. She got special burp surgery, which I literally didn't know existed until she got it done.
Okay, I want to talk about it because in case there's anyone out there that also has this, my entire life I struggled with something. I didn't know what it was called until a couple months ago. I found out through an Instagram reel. It's called RCPD. Stands for something complicated. I don't know. Look it up. But it's basically a muscle in your throat, and it doesn't contract, or it's not able to relax to allow air up so that you can burp. And my whole life I'd never been able to burp. And so I would get these really, really painful, horrible symptoms pretty much every day, but it would be made worse if I went out to dinner, if I had any alcohol. Basically anything makes it worse. It's ruined like concerts for me, makes me feel super sick. It makes me what they call in the subreddit air vomiting, which is like you get so much air built up inside of you that like my mouth would start flooding with saliva and I would gag like really hard and nothing would come up except for air. And I'd feel a little bit better afterwards, but it would be like traumatizing. And I ended up finding a doctor who was in New York and went under and got Botox. The cure is getting Botox injected into that muscle in your throat. And within like a couple days, you start to be able to burp. And now I'm burping like a fucking truck driver. But we went out to dinner last night, and for the first time in my life, or especially in my adult life, I was able to go out to eat all my food, drink 2 glasses of wine, laugh and talk the whole night, and not be so painfully bloated and in pain and nauseous. And the only thing that would help when it would get really bad, which was every single day, would be laying flat on my back. So it really prevented me from being able to go out and do things. And also one of the main symptoms is throat gurgles is what they call it. So it's like instead of burping, you get this like weird gurgle coming up your throat, and it would be like awkward if you do that in front of someone and they don't know what it is. And I would always call it indigestion for the longest time because I didn't know what it was. When I found out what it was, I was like, because I knew there was something wrong with me. I just didn't know what it was. And every doctor was like, it's acid reflux, it's indigestion, it's GERD. And I was like, no, it's not, because I want to die. And it doesn't just feel like heartburn. It's just like horrible. But yeah, we went out to eat last night and I was perfectly fine.
I was sitting across the table from Kennedy and I just see her secretly go. Like a fucking truck driver.
Yeah, I seriously, it was a rough like 5-6 days of recovery because you get one of the symptoms of the Botox. So basically the Botox relaxes that muscle completely so that the air is able to come up and you're able to burp. And then Botox wears off eventually. So the goal is that that muscle gets trained to be able to burp so you never have to get it again. But I forget where I was going with that.
I don't know. All I can say is now that you burp, you can never, ever say ew when one of us do it.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Mom,
some of your...
No. You know whose burps I will never be okay with?
Today's episode is sponsored by OneSkin. You see signs of aging?
I don't see a thing. You look like a child.
I do not look like a child.
You don't look like me.
You look like a child.
Yeah, I wish.
Now, you don't want to use too many products, but you want to use simple and effective products, and products that are properly researched and studied and backed by some kind of science, so you know what you're putting on your face. Mama Jen, you don't like Mama Jen, right?
No, don't call me that.
So Mom, what do you like about OneSkin?
Well, I love the fact it's like very silky when you put it on, and it actually really sinks in and you really do feel a difference. I usually have a really hard time finding eye creams because they say they're going to do something and then they don't do it. And this actually does do it. So you just put a thin layer on and it takes my crepiness away. It is hard because a lot of people do like 10 steps to like getting good skin, and you shouldn't have to do that.
So I'm going to tell you some stuff about OneSkin. It's founded by an all-women team of scientists.
Love it.
OS1 is scientifically proven to decrease lines and wrinkles, boost hydration, and help with a thinning skin that often comes with aging.
That always comes with aging.
They've got over 4,000 5-star reviews for their full line of face, body, sun, and travel-sized products. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. Get started today with 15% off using code WalshWorld at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code WalshWorld. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support this podcast and tell them we sent you. Invest in your health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you. That's it. It was really creamy. You said I look like a child. I'm 30. I'm old.
That's because you don't go in the sun too.
Don't go in the sun. Don't go in the sun and get one skin.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Mom,
You're not allowed.
No. You know whose burps I will never be okay with? Nick.
Oh yeah, that's different.
Nick's the loudest burper.
Nick isn't. That's not even a burp.
His aren't burps. His are like demonic.
Yeah.
Nick does it intentionally though.
Yeah.
Because he wants people to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, they hear it.
He wants to be seen. You know, that's his way of being seen.
A couple of days ago, Jesse said to me, because I have to turn my head like down here, that really helps. There's like certain things. This freaking subreddit has like been life-changing for me. If you can't burp, go on the no burp subreddit. Also, if you have any specific bodily issues, look for it on Reddit, because I have learned more from Reddit than any doctor. Like there's such good support systems on there. Reddit can be evil, but it also can be really, really good. But the other day Jesse was like, because I've been turning my head to the side constantly and like, yeah, you just like constantly trying to get air out. And he said to me the other day, he was like, every time you turn your head to the side, I think you're about to say something to me. And so I look at you and then you're just like joking. And I was cracking up because I've been doing it so much. And sometimes I would do it and I glance at him and he'd be staring at me. So yeah, but that's been my life for the last week. But last night I had a blast. I came home. I didn't even have to lay down afterwards. I finally feel my age.
I've never seen Kennedy have more than one glass of wine.
That's not true.
When? You literally don't, because every time you're like, guys, I gotta go.
Didn't.
I gotta go.
Wait, did you drink? How many did you drink?
I drank two, but I didn't finish
drink.
the second one because I was like, I was feeling it a lot. But
So you didn't drink two. You drank like one and
One and a half.
like 1.5.
Oh, because Brandon finished it, I think.
Yeah, it was a lot
yeah,
left.
I finished it.
But my point is, I've never been able to drink alcohol and not have those horrible symptoms afterwards, where I literally just like, I can't talk, I can't eat food, I start to feel really sick, I start to like feel like I'm choking on air, and now I can just burp it away.
When I was younger, I
okay.
couldn't burp, but I don't remember my first burp.
I can't
And I don't
burp.
remember it being
I
painful.
remember.
the
I
thing.
remember my first one. I was
A
probably
lot
like
of-
6 months.
A lot.
That's the first one that I
Well,
Well,
remember.
you
Burp as a
all
baby.
burped. You did burp
When?
as a baby.
6 months old.
Brandon.
The thing is,
Your cats are like attracted to me for some reason.
people can't burp.
Aw.
Some people can't burp, but they're still fine.
I
I was like a really bad case of it, where it was just absolutely ruining my life, and to the point where I was having so much anxiety about Claudia's wedding because I wanted to be able to enjoy it and be able to like partake in it. I remember at our cousin's wedding, Shoshana's wedding years ago, I remember I got it because I would get it as a kid when I would be dancing all night and intaking a lot of air. It's basically like I'm intaking all this air, it's going down into my stomach
and getting trapped.
and then it tries to come up, but it can't. So it just goes back down. And then there's all this pressure and it's just so uncomfortable. And on top of that, I have a million other stomach issues, all kinds of issues. So it was just to be able to cure one thing that causes me so much pain and discomfort is such an amazing
I feel like
feeling.
Dr. Evil right now or something. When he like, doesn't he have a cat that he pets? Oh, it's a naked cat though.
Oh, look at my handsome boy.
I can already feel my eyes itching.
Really?
With every
Well, now
pet.
you're petting him, so don't touch your face.
Yeah, why are you
I have
doing
a question.
that?
I have a philosophical question for you guys.
Look at all the
Don't
fur
worry.
coming
it's,
off.
It's a good one. You'll like it. Yeah. What the hell?
Ruby
You need to
loves
brush your
you.
cat.
Oh, they
They always
shed.
should.
Claudia take care of you? Do you
What's
want
the
a new
question?
home?
I'm curious now.
Yeah,
I think he wants to come with
wants
me.
to live with you? No.
Okay, the question is, I want you to answer one at a time. If your life was a movie, would you watch that movie?
I thought about this so many times before.
Who wants to go first? Should we start with you, Mom? If your life was a movie, would you want to watch it
Probably.
from start to finish?
Mom would watch anything.
Probably.
Probably.
Probably. I might get like turned off a couple times and not want to watch it anymore. But then I'd probably go back to it anyway.
What do you think the highlights would be?
Children being born, happy things, like all the good fun stuff that you want in life, but then and the cats, of course, but then being turned off.
If my life was a movie, yes, I would watch it. I'd probably be really fucking bored at times and fast forward it, but there'd be a couple of moments where I'd be like, I really relate to that.
Wait, I missed what?
Well, I'm
Okay.
saying, okay, what I'm really saying is like, do you think it would be interesting and entertaining enough where you would want to watch it?
To me.
Parts.
Because I feel like that's a good sign whether or not you've like lived a life worth living. And if you wouldn't watch it, then you have more time to make it worthy of
Yeah, but I
watching.
feel like drama and like negative things can make it entertaining too.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's think about the movie.
Well, that's part of life. though.
But that's
The question would be then, why are you attracted to those things when you watch them in movies?
because I don't have them in my life. My life is very
Yeah.
healthy and stable.
Wait, so you like to watch it without that?
Yes.
Okay, so this is another question because I realized girls in general, we had this conversation, but girls in general like watching mysteries and like crime dramas and all that kind of stuff, and also horror movies. And I think it's the kind of thing where like somebody wants to go through the experience of like the trauma without the consequences of having to
That's
deal
part
with
of
it.
it, but also I feel like the true crime stuff, I feel like I learn a lot from that. And also I like listening to these people's stories. I feel like a lot of the times they should be shared and women should listen to them because you do learn a lot. But also with like horror movies, yeah, I don't have stuff like that happening in my
Yeah,
life. So
right.
it's
That's extreme.
It's
Do
like
you think
some
it's curiosity?
no, it's some small form of like adrenaline. And also a lot of movies these days are so boring to me. Horror usually has like some interesting controversial aspects to it or something that makes it
Well, I looked further
Unique.
into dreaming because we talked about it. And I think movies and dreaming have a similar thing in a sense. The point of dreaming is so you can go through experiences, like dangerous experiences, without having to deal with the consequences of them. That's why crazy shit will happen in your dream because it's your brain experiencing. It's your brain experimenting on like the fringes of reality in a sense. And then what happens is like you test it and then you bring it back to like your actual.
I think if Claudia's
Consciousness.
life was a movie, it would be like one of those rom-coms where she gets out of like a mid-relationship and then like finds the man of her dreams.
Yeah, I guess if you look at it that way, it's pretty entertaining.
I mean, when I think back now, I think of crazy stories like with the body painting and
You'd
stuff.
have your movie would be very
Yeah,
entertaining.
Mom. I actually think that
and then
that
a
your
couple other
life
Ah.
things.
is worthy of an actual movie.
I completely agree. I
Yeah.
tell her to write a book all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you really think back, then I'm like,
You
oh
need
yeah,
to
that
write a
happened
book.
and that happened, and
You need
No,
to
it would be
complete
really
your
entertaining.
legacy with a book.
Well, I've never seen
Yeah.
a movie about this where like maybe because enough time hasn't passed yet. Maybe there are similar women to you, but like women who got divorced during that time, like 2010s, and then went off on their own and like
As a
like
single mom
literally
with 3 kids.
literally going from like not working and like staying at home to taking care of kids and having to like make money. So it's like a huge pivot.
yeah,
That would be entertaining to watch.
and
Murphy
like
has
start
claimed you as his own.
and
What
my
is he
and a
doing?
career.
He's trying to get comfortable in
Thanks,
you.
you.
Lay down, Murph.
He used to go for the wires and now he's going for me. Oh, back
Oh,
to the
you
wires.
jinxed
You,
it.
you made him feel rejected.
He doesn't even know what's going on.
Murphy.
Yes, he does. He could feel your body language.
Murphy,
He
come
must
sit
like it
with
because he keeps
me.
coming to me.
Come here.
Murph, why don't you come over to the girls?
He said, "Stay still while I clean you."
Oh, he's gonna.
He cleans
Clean
all
that
the wires
wire.
of the house.
Okay, Brayden, would you watch your movie?
Would I watch mine?
No, you'd just be sitting and coding all day.
That's true. I don't think you would watch yours because you only like sci-fi stuff.
Oh, he's gonna bite that.
I do really like sci-fi stuff.
Brandon,
He's fine.
you sure? Look like he was biting it. It's annoying.
But I think the whole like 5 years that we were like filming a lot was definitely
Oh, yeah,
like, highly
definitely.
entertaining. That shit felt like a movie
Basically,
because
all
that was
is a
so
movie.
abnormal.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like behind the scenes, because like after we would film, like do like things, like it would just continue.
Yeah, well, we were kind of like we were born into this like phase where you can post stuff online. Like I feel like we were like some of the earliest, like just the age that we're at. We were some of like the earliest people to be able to post things online like that.
Mm-hmm.
Before that like really early YouTuber phase
Yeah.
with like PewDiePie and all of them who would just basically film themselves. But the whole vlogging thing wasn't, I mean, it was kind of like up and coming at the time. So it was such a weird random thing to do, to like record your life and like put it out there without a reality show coming and like doing it for
Yeah.
you, to just do it yourself and everyone to kind of like agree to do it.
Mhm.
But that was a really cool experience because we did things that we wouldn't have done otherwise. And like whenever I think back, I'm like, what are all the crazy memories that I have? It's like when we were filming those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was like super, as much as people complain sometimes about certain things, it was definitely really fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun.
Yeah. And I don't know. So I was debating, because I haven't filmed anything in like 2 years because I've been working on Superhuman. But I don't think Superhuman will like slow down, because I want to constantly make it better for like as long as I can. But I did, when I travel, I was thinking about like filming when I travel and just making it different, making it a little bit more
Laid back.
real. Yeah, laid back and real. And
I
more,
would literally watch that because I love watching travel content.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like more like what my actual personality is. And here's the thing. Like,
you can film with an iPhone.
Yeah, I don't necessarily even want to like travel to touristy spots. I want to go to like weird small towns and stuff that has interesting things that no one would ever like really set foot in, and then like spend a week there or something.
Great.
And then just go to all the coolest things.
How long is this gonna happen for?
I don't know.
Oh, so
I'm gonna be.
So
honest.
I will be worrying for I don't know. Long.
I'm getting rid of my house. I have 3 more.
I'm gonna worry.
I have
Kennedy.
3 months left on my lease, and then I will be homeless.
I will worry that
You should.
if
I
they're
don't know
going
why
to
you wouldn't want to
towns-
get a van and do it with a van.
right.
I don't want to sleep in a van.
Mm.
But you could still get like Airbnbs and stuff. You don't always have to sleep in the
sleeping
van.
in a van is way more dangerous.
I don't know. I have this weird thing where I want to do it as like minimally as possible.
I feel like a van is
I know
so
that's
minimal.
but what I'm saying is
Poor
like,
Kate.
She
definitely wants to do it too.
Yeah,
wouldn't be
luckily
doing it
she's
if she didn't
down.
wanna do
She's
it.
like super excited to do it. The only thing that we have to figure out is like she still has a job, so a certain time during the day she has to work, and obviously I work most of the day too. So the hard part is going
You
to
guys
be.
can literally go to coffee shops though and just like
or
Yeah.
while she's working, you can be like filming something or editing your video that you're filming. Or
Yeah.
I think that would just be really fun for you, especially after you spent like the last at least years just coding.
Yeah, well, I would still be doing.
I
a
know,
lot of-
but like you'd have
But
you'd be living life.
yeah, I think I purposely try to set it up in a way though where I could do something like that, and it could all remain remote. Like even when we do this podcast, we were just talking about it. How, well, first off, the name of the podcast should be changed by now. If not, then I messed something up. But the name of the podcast should be changed, and what I really imagine it being is like us each in our own like place, like living our own unique lives. But then we do like the whole like family group chat, like video call type thing, and that's sort of like the theme of this podcast. And I actually think it would be more entertaining. We'd have more to talk about, because sometimes when we sit here, we kind of run out of things to talk about. Mainly because we do a lot of like repetitive things.
I don't feel like we
Like,
run out of things.
We're
to
in
talk
routines.
About.
I also
well,
do
you know what I'm
feel-
saying? It's like there's nothing like huge and exciting to
I
talk
feel like
about.
we repeat what we talk about a lot too, but
But
like,
a lot of people do that in conversations.
I know
in
that's the
general.
thing. It's not us like forcing a conversation. It's literally just whatever comes out comes out. If you want to listen to it, you listen to it. If you don't.
Yeah,
Basically
we
what a
live
podcast
pretty
is.
mundane.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
like
But
mundane.
that's what I want. That's what I set up for myself
Yeah.
because that's what I'm happy doing.
I like a mundane life.
Okay. So some people are like, don't want to live what I would call, like Kate and I call it, like living more of like a simple life. It doesn't mean necessarily living simple. It means living with less anxieties and craziness around you, so you can actually focus on the things that are more
That's
important.
the thing too. When you
Yeah.
have anxiety and your nervous system gets
Overrun.
unregulated very easily, like
Mm.
me, and also I have a chronic illness that's directly connected to my nervous system that will cause my body to flare up if I'm super anxious. I really enjoy a low stress life. No
Mhm.
part of me has ever craved stress and like excitement like that. Like I like having my space with my cats. I like spending time with my friends, my family, doing interesting things every once in a while here and there and challenging myself. But
And that's sometimes why having a career on the internet is hard because
yeah,
if you're trying to live like that, I feel like you're putting stuff out there for everyone to comment on and have opinions on. And
well, that is why I barely post.
yeah, like for example, our wedding video, like I know a lot of people obviously will want to see it, and I haven't decided if I want to share it because that's like a personal day
Mhm.
that only certain people are going to be there to witness, and the video is like for us. It's
Yeah.
not. It's so we can look back on it. And I just haven't decided if I want anyone else looking in on it, speculating, saying anything about our day.
So this is exactly how I felt recently with filming stuff in general, especially when I go to like travel and everything, because I was like, do I want to record every single thing and then like fall down into that rabbit hole of being like, oh, we got to go to this place so I can get it for the fucking blog. And then people start watching it and you're like, oh, I got to keep them entertaining.
No, if you're doing it, you should be filming for yourself.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, well, I always fall into a trap with posting content where I'm trying to make it as good as humanly possible. So it's as entertaining as possible and attracts like the most viewers as possible. So
you can't look at it that way.
Yeah, it puts me.
You have to have fun with it.
That's what I would do with my YouTube channel. And that's when I stopped feeling that. That's when I stopped doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And luckily, I think because I'm working on something like Superhuman that I'm passionate about, I'm hoping that I can go make the content on YouTube without having that kind of like
be like
weird
a video
connection to it.
diary.
Yeah, I want it to be natural and I don't want it to feel stressful. I want to be like, I like doing this stuff. I think it's cool. I like filming it so I can like look at it.
Yeah.
If other people can watch it and be entertained by it or feel comfort from it, then great. But I don't want to be like,
you have to let go of the like perfectionism of like making it the best thing it could be.
You have to view it as like you have never made content like this before.
Yeah.
You'd be going into it with a different mindset.
You have to understand that people don't want it to be this big production. Like when I'm watching something like that, it's like Outdoor Boys. You watch it, you want it to be as raw and real and natural and unedited as it possibly can be while still be entertaining, which is just literally like him showing what he's doing and making cuts at the right point.
If you're there with them.
Yeah. What I also have noticed that I enjoy the most and what's most stimulating to watch to me is like things that feel authentic and like human, like bringing up Outdoor Boys again. Because it just everything I really feel like part of the reason he's so successful is because he's so authentically himself.
Yeah.
Like he's not putting on some act. He's just this guy in Alaska camping
doing
in the
his
snow.
Thing. Yeah, and also I don't know if you ever watched them, but Elsa and Baron, they're like more so their older videos because now they're doing like they built a home like on a off grid on like a plot of land and whatever, but they're older ones. They lived in a scamp. Is that what it's called? A scamp?
No, yeah.
Yeah, the scamp. Yeah. That's what they called it. Basically a little like trailer thing. And
like 13-foot trailer.
The most entertaining part of it was literally like them waking up and making breakfast, seeing what they're eating and how they're cooking it.
Food is always so interesting to me. I love watching.
Yeah, just literally the shots of them cooking and then like talking about what they're doing, talking about what the weather is and how they're dealing with it. Like,
like
so entertaining.
Yeah, that sounds like it's so mundane and boring, but like that's just actual life.
Even when I feel like the last YouTube videos I have posted are a lot more mundane than they used to be because I used to be so scared of people getting bored and like their attention span going away. And if I was editing it or watching it and I felt bored at all, I'd be like, all right, I got to shorten this clip. And this is too long of a pause.
That's why it's really hard for me to edit my own stuff sometimes because I'll cut out me talking about something that maybe people would be interested, but I'm like, no one wants to listen to me talk this much.
Fucking boring. I don't care.
Yeah, but it's literally because it's like your own brain, your own self. And I'm just like, I think about these things all the time.
Well, also,
so like,
I think about it like people could have it on their TV in the background and like step away from it and then come back or like rewatch it, whatever. Just like.
Well, I always loved like one of my favorite parts of filming was like filming the cinematic stuff, like the stuff that just looks visually pleasing.
But that's the perfectionism
shit I know,
that you get.
Because I was debating like should I vlog and then overlay it with some like cinematic stuff?
I mean, you could. A lot of them do that. Like Karen Nate does that. I think Elsa and Baron do it too.
Just she does. Not sitting there talking.
She'll just set up her camera basically, and it's like a very cinematic shot because it's a nice camera.
A segue into another.
Yeah, I mean, I personally with like background music, like watching like food, like, her cooking food,
like
while
cleaning compilation.
Yeah, I kind of want it just to be like I want it to feel sort of like raw, like what I want it to feel like, because this is kind of what I imagine it as is like a couple's randomly like fuck it. It's like one of those movies. I know where I'm like 30 years old, so I'm not like a fucking 18-year-old, but it's like those movies where it's like it's like two young teenagers or something, and they're like, fuck it, we're just gonna like go do this.
Yeah, I think people would love that.
Because they just want a cool story.
I'm telling you, that's something
it's
I
legit
would
a video diary. Watch. You have to treat it as that and not try to start getting crazy and ruining it for yourself.
1 month ahead at a time for where we're going. So it's like,
what iPhone do you have?
whatever Claudia got me, 16.
16
Yeah, so you
Pro
film
Max.
if you as long as you have enough storage space on it, you can film anything on your iPhone. iPhone films incredible quality now.
Oh yeah, that's true. I always forget.
Everyone films on there's so many YouTubers that film on their iPhones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the quality is just not the most important thing right now.
Or you
Like,
just get a
never
little
has been.
DJI camera like I have.
Oh yeah, her little weird
Yeah.
camera.
I feel so weird going back into filming stuff because I feel like I've been in isolation for 2 years.
Yeah,
You
I
have.
literally have.
You have.
yeah.
Like, it's insane. But I think I also needed to do that because I was at the point with content where I was just like,
burnt out.
yeah, I was burnt out. I was making it to get views, and I
Mhm.
honestly didn't even know what I was doing.
Making
You're
at
going
that
down
certain
a
point.
rabbit hole.
But also making
Yeah, I was going
something
down a rabbit hole.
specifically to get views to me is just so not fulfilling and such a like I just feel like that mindset with making content and posting stuff on social media, it never works.
Well, also the natural progression pushes you down a rabbit hole of going into like kids like content.
Yeah, you
It's
can't
so annoying
because you
that's what
start
gets you-
becoming like more scripted and more like, oh, it
Yeah.
has to be this way instead. And also, you were relying on other people. Like with doing your own thing, you're only going to be relying on yourself. So it's like you do it when you want to do it, and
Well, I definitely got the most enjoyment out of creating in general when I actually followed my gut and was like, I'm
Yeah.
just going to go plan this myself. I'm not going to
Same.
listen to anyone else's feedback. And it would always do better. And then as soon as I went in the other direction of like passing too many tasks off to other people, then it would start like,
because you
going
just
down the
that's
drain.
like a whole nother ball game. I think vlogging, doing things that you're actually like happy doing is the best, most fulfilling
Mhm.
form of content.
yeah.
But also I find it really therapeutic. The whole reason I started my YouTube channel is because I like talking out loud. If I wasn't doing it to a camera, I'd still be doing it to myself. I still do it all the time. I was telling Claudia and Jesse the other day. Sometimes I still pretend I'm filming something like in the bathroom just because I'm the type of person who just needs to talk. Like I
Yeah.
need to get stuff out of my head because I have so many thoughts swirling around constantly that I'm like,
Yeah.
but like the thing is now with posting really personal stuff, I don't get the same fulfillment out of it as I used to. It's now I'm just like, I don't want to share these things. I don't want people to say things that are going to upset me.
You know what I think I struggled with the most was that my real life and sort of like a business were two meshed together
Yeah.
into one. And
Yeah.
I couldn't distinguish
But you
the
also were
difference.
constantly having to like coerce everyone into doing this, and
Yeah.
it was so dependent on everyone else. Like this would be more about you. And
Yeah, I would be so
your
stressed
journey.
if I was trying to rely on everyone else for
Yeah.
filming.
Well, that's the thing. I always felt like I needed other people in order to
Mhm.
run. See, it wasn't really. It's like a half business, but let's just say like I needed other people in order to make it work, and that would stress me out a ton because I'd be like, okay, I would get so stressed having to text like 8 people and being like, hey, can you be in this video in like 2 days? And then most people would normally say yes, but I always felt bad because I knew some people were like, oh, I don't want to do it, but I'll just say yes.
Some people, like who?
Mm-hmm.
These two.
Well,
Yeah.
the only ones.
Yeah.
Actually, no. There was a lot who would always say
There
yes.
was a lot of
You and
times
Dad-
when we had fun.
Yeah, you and Dad would always say yes.
Yeah, 'cause we're not
you
gonna,
love being
like, we don't wanna, like-
especially. Well, you always said yes, but Dad would. He loves the attention of being on.
I
film.
just didn't want to disappoint you, so I would do it. Even if
See,
I
that's a
didn't
bad
want to
reason
do it, I would still do
that's,
it.
That's like the exact reason I didn't want people to say like I didn't want people to be like, oh my god, I'm gonna disappoint Brandon if I do this. Like I wanted it to be like, oh yeah, that sounds fun.
Well, some of the things you had me do weren't necessarily things
I mean,
that
yeah,
I
I
would want
push
to
the
do.
limits sometimes, but
And you didn't even do the one where you made me lay on the ground and put a snake on me.
Brandon, you remember?
didn't
oh,
even
I didn't
show
post
it.
that
Remember
whole.
when
yeah.
I did your makeup? Like when I first started my YouTube channel, I still had black hair.
Oh yeah, that was what got me a ton of Instagram followers. I was like, holy shit!
Yeah, you're welcome.
I was like, what is
I
going on?
remember getting so many
Penny
comments.
did my makeup and like the next day I have like
I was getting
$50.
so many comments of like, your brother's so hot, and I was like, how do I like stop this?
I remember I had 2,000 followers and I was like, holy shit, I'm getting people following me.
I
It might have
remember
been,
being
like,
in high school and I
6,000.
didn't have an Instagram, and I remember seeing like your guys' Instagrams. I was like, oh my god, they have like 700 followers.
Well, the funny thing is, me
I
and
was like,
Claudia have always been the type to, even before we had any following, to like dress up and go take pictures and like edit them and post them because we have fun doing that.
yeah,
And I still have so much fun doing that. Like I think it's just a really fun thing to do. It's like I view it as an art form.
mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy how it's just like normal to me now
Yeah.
to go on Instagram and see all that.
Yeah, I think now if I'm going to post content again, I only want to post content that like inspires people in some way or like gets them excited about something.
Mhm.
I know before it was like entertaining. It was like comedy stuff.
Yeah, I
super
mean, I feel like we
entertaining.
did a lot of videos that did that. And
Yeah.
I also feel like the body paint phase, that was really interesting. People loved that. That was very like entertaining. And people like it, the models even would come to me afterwards and say like, oh my God, I was so nervous, but it like changed me.
Well,
I
it
feel so
probably helps
different
with
about
their
myself.
I mean, the best way to gain confidence is to strip down butt naked in public and let people like
Yeah.
stare at you. I always thought about that. I'm like, if
Yeah.
you want to just have like maximal confidence, that would be the way to do it.
Well,
Like,
they went
like
in and
be one of
paint
those
still,
models
but-
who just stands completely naked and like gets painted or something. Because at that
Yeah.
point, like what?
Or a nude model for like an art class.
That's even more so
Yeah.
because the paint covers you and it's an illusion of having clothes on.
But you still
Naked
do
is
have to
naked.
start naked with somebody like close up staring at every
Yeah.
part of you.
Yeah, I remember some of the models were like shaking,
That's why,
like,
like-
terrified.
naked, well, specifically naked women bodies. Like I feel like I'm so used to it. Well, obviously because I'm a woman, but still like I have so
Yeah,
much
you were 17, turning 18, getting into that. Like,
painting naked women. I guess I have had an interesting life.
and Brandon used to walk in from high school, and naked girls were in my kitchen, walking around.
Yeah, I told you about that. Everyone at school knew. And they would
Yeah,
like the lacrosse team would be like, "Hey man, can I buy tickets to your house to watch the naked girls get painted?" I'm like, I was known for that, and then probably because Claudia was my sister. Besides that, I was just the nerdy guitar player kid with all the guitar playing dorks.
well, how would people even know? We weren't even like public. Like, how would people even know I did that?
Probably because we posted stuff or
Also,
you
you're
posted stuff,
like locally
Maybe.
famous.
and that's when
Mhm.
Instagram like kind of first started. I feel like so people were like on
Yeah.
Instagram and yeah.
Hmm.
But that was what I was known for. The model, the
Mom
hot
who-
mom with the naked models in her
Yeah.
house
Oh, God,
that lived across the school.
sorry.
Mhm.
lived across the school.
Yeah.
Right, really, walking distance.
Yeah. Didn't we take the bus to that school a few
No,
times?
we didn't have a bus.
We didn't have a
Yeah,
bus.
that's
No, we
You guys
walked.
had to-
God, I remember riding the bus and like a bunch of kids would sit in the back because there were so many bumps where we lived on the roads.
Wait, you
and the bus
did take
driver-
a bus.
We took a bus to middle school.
In middle school, the bus
Oh.
driver would go over the bumps and the kids would jump like on their seat like this. And I did it once, fucking idiot. I did it once and my head smacked so hard on the roof of the bus. I was like, bong. And I was like, oh, I never did it again after that. I was
Wait,
like,
why
how's
would they do
fun?
this?
Huh?
Why did they
Because
do
it's like
this?
a ride.
Because
Oh,
it's
Like a-
bouncy.
oh
It-
yeah.
the back would bounce
Those
so
bus
much.
drivers would freaking fly.
And some of the bus drivers would get so mad because the kids in our school were some of the worst I've ever seen. These bus drivers would stop
You know
the
what?
bus, get up, and start yelling.
Yeah.
But now they've cameras.
I can
all over the
understand
bus.
now how annoying it probably was though to
Oh
be
my
driving
God.
a bunch of kids and then
And
they're
they're all
pissing you off.
screaming and,
Oh my
like,
God,
carrying
I
Well,
got
I
so
was doing
pissed
I would
too.
lean my head on the window and listen to music and pretend that I was in a music video.
It was
all I would
always
do on
some
the bus.
old bus driver too.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Shut up!" He's
Oh my
like
God.
80 years old and it's like
we
still
never had
driving
bus
a
drivers
bus.
like that. We must have been way better than you.
Way better.
You
What
guys
do
must
mean?
have been like,
Are you saying
rowdy
what
kids.
generation are you in?
We were not bratty kids.
What generation are you in?
I don't know, what am I?
The rowdy.
Boomer? Are you
They're
boomer?
rowdy.
Are you saying
I don't think I'm
boomers are better
boomer.
than millennial
I thought
and
my
Gen
parents
Z?
were boomers.
What am I? Am I
Not
millennial?
me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
like a
baby.
baby
What do-
millennial.
I'm technically Gen Z.
What's Gen X? Is that
Young. Gen X
No.
is young
No,
or
that's-
Gen Y.
I think Gen
What?
X is
Shit, I forget. I literally just looked this up. I was researching this because I was interested at the differences of each generation,
Yeah, my
like what
parents
they
are baby
value.
boomers.
I don't know what your generation
I don't
values,
either.
but I know Gen Z values more like vanity-based stuff and more
no though
because
because
of
I
social media, like more like
I
attention,
feel
like main character vibes.
but I feel like it's always been like that though. Like there's always been Hollywood, not always, but ever since Hollywood's existed, it's this fake image of perfect beauty and perfect love and perfect
yeah,
life.
but do you know what I think? I think millennials are super cynical and like super cynical, nihilistic.
I think
like
Gen Z-
dark humor vibes.
Gen Z is definitely more accepting and
Like-
open.
Is that camera still going?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It says
you can see the
record.
recording, yeah.
I can't see. Oh, because
Record.
mom's
'Cause
pants
mom's
are
already
red.
red.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still going. No, I think there is a difference between the generations because it matters what you were born into and what you grew up with. Like you played with sticks when you were a kid.
Yeah.
You can tell.
So did
Literally.
we.
I'm just kidding.
What are
We
you
did
No,
trying
we
to
that
actually
say?
did
too.
too. Our generation's interesting because we were on the verge of playing with sticks and then slowly converting into video games. I remember
Yeah.
going to the store. Now there's like a ton of video games. I remember I went to the store with Dad because I was so excited because he said if I worked with him, he'd buy me a video game. There were like 3 games. It was like Halo, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and
Oh my God, I remember
whatever else
that.
was out at the time.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto. You had like no choices.
God, the skating game.
And I remember getting Halo just because it was the only option and the cover looked cool. And I was like, Dad, I want that. And he bought me an Xbox and Halo. And that was the first actual like serious game that I ever had. And now Halo is like one of the biggest games
Do you
ever
remember
made.
Red Dead Redemption?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
Red Dead
loved that
Redemption.
game.
We would just sit and watch Brandon
Ride
play.
horses around and like
But the thing is, I never liked playing these video games because I was so bad at them and they'd stress me out. But I loved watching.
Yeah.
And that's why I had a PewDiePie
Well,
phase when I was like 15.
I started getting good at them because every Friday we'd go to Dad's and I had nothing else to do, so I would sit down and play Call of
Yeah.
Duty. And I started getting actually like really good at it because I was like familiar with the remote. And then now I just tried playing it because
Lucky
Jesse
you.
got
We
it.
didn't have good ones. Not at home good ones. We had Pac-Man at the arcades, but we didn't have we had Atari.
Well, that's when we got into YouTube too. We started watching YouTube,
Yeah, I was just like my entire life obsessed
playing
with YouTube.
what was that website? That game website?
Oh, Newgrounds.
Yes, Newgrounds.
All those, all those web games we would play like crazy. All those like JavaScript old ass games. I don't even know that should exist anymore.
Those freaking weird sex
I
games.
think it does.
Yeah,
Yeah, now I
weird.
play-
Sex games.
I play
yeah,
Roblox.
we did weird shit when we were
I play
kids.
Roblox. I've been playing Sims. I made my Sims make out like 10 times last night and then they woohooed.
They woohooed.
Yeah, that means they.
Wait, they
Okay.
do that?
That's what Kennedy does
have
alone
them do-
in,
I remember
in
in
the
Grand
guest
Theft Auto,
room.
you could get in Grand Theft Auto, you could pick
God.
up a girl on the side of the road, take her back in your car, and the car would go.
And you best believe I did.
What?
She would give you a blowjob.
Grand Theft Auto is literally what
fucked up.
everyone wants to like
Murphy!
do in their
Yeah.
fantasies, but can't. So they do it.
Yeah,
in the
rip people
game.
out of cars, steal cars,
Steal
run
cars,
people over.
Run from the cops. I've literally had dreams about that
Listen to
before.
this.
For some reason, when I'm running from the police, like in Grand Theft Auto,
Listen.
and you have no way out.
I posted me on my Instagram story making 2 girl Sims kiss in the background. The man Sim is sitting on the couch watching. And someone responded to I never check my DMs, but I happened to see this one. Someone responded to it and said, "We got cucking on Sims before GTA 6." It's just so
that would
fun.
probably be a mission in GTA
It's so fun
6.
what you can do on games these days.
Yeah, just wait till what it becomes.
I know. I'm waiting for like some dirty freak sex game that they're gonna make.
Well,
like,
they already got the VR where people go
Actually,
in
I
there
think
and
I'm playing like the iPad version of Sims, the free one, but the actual game you can download extension packs. I think where you can like watch them have sex.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Oh, somebody like programmed it in.
there's like all of these different. You can have a serial killer come to town and start killing people.
Lovely.
Well, listen to this. There's a like a AI chatbot website for lonely guys where you can have like an anime AI
Character
girlfriend.
AI?
Yeah, my friend sent it to me. He's like, dude, these companies are
Friend.
making like 20
I'm a
million,
seasoned vet.
They're making
at
like
character AI.
20 million a month
oh
off
my
of
God.
off
What?
of people paying for AI girlfriends who have like
The
these
fuck?
personas. It's like first off,
Listen, at least they're talking to
Just
something.
do it on ChatGPT.
No, it's because
Second,
they have
how-
specific characters that have like the character qualities, but it's really ChatGPT is obviously a lot more advanced.
ChatGPT is the layer that
But
they're
also
using.
have voices, so you can call it,
Oh.
and I could literally feel like I'm talking to Cillian Murphy.
Okay, so let's play this out. Where does this go?
what?
How advanced does it get?
No, for me, I
I'm
was
gonna
does it-
start
where
getting
does
a
it
bell
end?
and ringing it every time we start talking about AI on this fucking
What do you
podcast.
expect?
Well, this is interesting.
It's
Think,
literally the biggest thing going on
It's
in the
taking
world.
over the world.
okay, imagine somebody in your family gets addicted to AI sex robots.
What do you mean, imagine?
Okay, guys, I should just tell you now. I
I was gonna say, what do you do
bring
in your
this
free
up
time?
This is an intervention.
You talk a lot about AI. I'm starting to get worried.
So I've actually spent all my money on this website, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I don't know what to do. Patricia. Been talking to
Honestly,
You have a girlfriend. You can't say that.
if it wasn't for AI, I would. I feel like it's teaching me so much about my cats more than the vet would. So
Really does give
I'm
you
very
like a lot of
thankful for it
answers.
because we've had a couple sick cats, and without AI, I probably would not have.
Well, here's
Mom's
a
the
theory
gonna be
that I
education
have.
on
Mom's
it.
I
gonna
think
be
you'll
on
find
a
this
fucking
interesting.
commercial for AI.
I feel like I'm
AI
filming an
medical
AI doctors.
therapy.
Yeah, seriously. Like I went in and I said to my
Without
to the
AI,
vet,
I would not be here.
I went in and I said, "Do you realize that only 1% of cats get liver cancer?" And he was like, "Mm-hmm." And I'm like, "Well, then why didn't you tell me that?"
No, he said in his head, he thought in his head, well, I just learned something new.
Right, exactly. Yeah, seriously. We're like, why are
No,
they
genuinely.
telling us all these facts
between
that are out there?
between ChatGPT and Reddit, you can figure out anything. Like, truly, I have learned so much about medical issues for myself through those things. Rather
Yeah,
than
I'm
like
like
doctors,
really thankful
sometimes-
for it.
Doctors are amazing, of course, but sometimes they have like a script in their head where this, and this leads to this, and this, and this, and this leads to this.
Oh, this is what I'm gonna say before I forget. I have a potential theory of what I think is gonna happen with these like AI chatbots. You know how you sort of like have like a voice inside your head, like you sort of talk to yourself, and that's the way you think. I think it's gonna slowly merge together where it like feels like you're talking to yourself, but you're actually talking to like the GPT, and it's a reflection of you. It's a more intelligent reflection of you. So you have you, and then inside your head, you have a more connected, intelligent, knowledgeable version of you.
I don't want that.
That you
Yeah, I'm
that
good.
you talk to as if you're thinking through something. Like when you go and do something, you're thinking through. Let me unlock this.
I think I'd rather just like
You might want that
think with
because
my brain
that's-
like a normal
Well,
person.
honestly, that's like a way of therapy. Like
Yeah,
that's a
and
good
then
thing.
what
Think
happens
about
when
it,
it's
though.
like goes wrong and like you're all fucked up
It won't
and
go
you
wrong.
can't
And
get
now they
back
have
to
your
what you
consciousness
were.
out
That's
there.
like saying anything can go wrong. That's like saying
No,
I have a metal
thank
leg because
you.
my leg got broken. My metal leg could
I
go
just would
wrong.
rather
Your
talk-
Yeah,
spine
and
can
it
go
does.
wrong.
I would
Why
rather
would you want to
talk-
fuck with something if it's not broken?
I would rather talk to myself out loud in person rather than have another AI version of myself that I can talk to. Like, just if you
Well,
kn-
here's the thing. What happens with these things is they happen so slowly and
You don't
gradually.
even realize it.
Yeah, you don't realize it,
Mhm.
and then by the time you know it, like okay,
Yeah, look at us now.
first you Googled, and now you're GPTing literally everything because
Right.
it's convenient, and then the next thing you know, that you have to understand that it's slow. It's slow to input something
Mom.
into a computer and get an answer back. Like people hate waiting for shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
People hate. You know how sometimes when you're not talking to somebody on the phone and you're typing, it's like almost aggravating that you can't type out what you want to say
Yeah.
fast enough.
What's what
Yeah.
voice memos are for?
Well, yes, exactly.
we are
It
the
makes-
generation of instant gratification.
Yes, a voice memo is a new type of communication that now makes it faster than doing the typing. What's faster than doing the voice
Yeah.
memo? It would be it already being in your head and there. So
It's
so
not
the inner voice
necessary.
that you have, that's what's called. The inner voice that you have that you talk to in order to think through things is now, in my opinion, eventually going to just be an amplified, hyper knowledgeable version. It's going to integrate so closely with you. I would already recognize this in like GPT when I use it. It first off, it has memory now of everything you've done in the past. So when you ask it things, its answers are unique and specific to you.
Mhm.
And it's going to become so good that it like blends into you as a person. Like you become one. And now you're just a hyper knowledgeable encyclopedia and you have your own
I
little
honestly,
character
I don't
traits.
use ChatGPT that much though. Like, I'm not looking shit up that much.
Oh,
Yeah,
I gotta.
but I can see even people who don't use things like that often slowly start merging into it because when they actually do need to go look something up, it's like, do I use Google or do
Well,
I use
yeah, but now when
this?
you search something on Google, AI automatically comes up.
Right,
AI
exactly.
overview.
Ex-
Yes,
Exactly.
but it's not anywhere near
obviously.
as good. As
Well,
some of
it
the
gives
other
you
ones.
enough information.
But
'cause
I-
that's
If you're
what I've
looking
been
up surface
using.
level things, but what if you have like a deep philosophical question, or what if you need help with something?
Well,
Like,
those are like my late night conversations with AI that I don't have very often.
I got a text the other day that my wedding dress ships in a few days.
Oh,
my
wow.
God. That's exciting.
I know. I wonder
I'll do
how long it
Claudia's
takes
wedding
to
makeup
ship.
today.
I still have no idea what I'm wearing.
We have to go. Actually, we're going. We're supposed to go Sunday with Jesse's mom to pick out his stuff.
So what's that do for Brandon?
We'll probably
Well,
look
just
at
give me
stuff
an
then.
idea of what
You're
I
gonna
should get.
probably no.
You'll
We're probably
probably
gonna
get
get
it from
you
the
the
same
same
place.
thing. We're gonna get you
Oh.
what all the groomsmen are wearing.
Give her your
Oh.
sizes.
Okay, yeah. If I don't have to choose, that would be
You don't have to
Great.
choose. You're gonna wear what they're wearing.
Trust me, Claudia will pick your outfit for you.
That would be good.
White, like a white button down and like
She's
like
pretty much picked
tannish
everybody's.
linen
If I wasn't
pants.
going to this wedding, I'd be so jealous.
She's pretty much picked everybody's outfit. She got my dress. She gave Dakota a lot of good choices.
Got my
and
dress.
She ended up getting what she'd said. Claudia's got like a lot of anything. Anytime anybody needs anything, we just write to her and say, "What should we do?" And she finds it.
She's a
Mhm.
very
Resourceful.
useful person.
Well,
Yeah.
you also want it to look a
Mhm.
certain way, right? Like if we all came and it looked like a rainbow.
Well, yes, all the
No, it's all gonna
groomsmen are
look-
going to be wearing the same colored
Right.
pants
That's
and
what
a
I was
white
saying.
button
Like,
down.
I don't want to get some random thing and then I'm like standing out like a sore
No,
thumb.
you're not going to get a random thing. I'm going to get you what you're going to wear.
Can I wear suspenders though?
If you really want to, sure.
I really want to. What about a bow tie?
Brandon,
They wear
you
bow
want to
ties?
look like a farmer?
Maybe.
I hate bow ties. Like I've never seen
I
a bow
don't think
tie
that would look
and
like a
liked it.
farmer in
You
a.
hate bow
No,
ties.
in
I
a
fucking
dress,
hate
yeah.
them. But
I'll
I
dress.
Remember
I'll
when
give
I was
you what you're
obsessed
going
with
to
bow
wear.
tie pasta as a kid? I would eat it with butter and
What do you
cheese.
have against bow ties?
Just think they look so
I don't know
goofy.
why
Like,
you,
what are you,
uh,
a clown?
You could say anything looks goofy. I've always thought this. Like, what made people decide to
Bow
wear
ties
suits
look
and hang
cute
a
on, like,
piece
little
of cloth
boys.
from their
Right.
neck? Like, hey guys, this looks fucking great.
I know, a tie is
It
really
is weird.
weird.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
hang this like random
I
colorful
don't really
piece
like
of cloth
ties
from our
either,
necks.
though. Like I like just button up tops. I think they look good on their own. I think ties just
I think
add like
bow
too
ties are weird
much.
too.
it's just a neck tail. Hey guys, let's hang a tail from
I
our
don't know.
neck.
I don't understand. I think ties and bow ties are both stupid
Well,
as
bow
fuck.
ties, in my opinion, like if you really think about it, it's like you're just kind of putting the final touch on when you like tie up a present and then you just make
Yeah,
it.
and then you look
a
like
bow.
like bow ties are cute on little boys.
Well,
But
the
yeah,
same
that's
thing
what I
with
just
girls'
said.
dresses. I've seen girls' dresses where they have a bow on the back of it. That's
Yeah,
huge.
just got one.
Yeah.
That's funny, yeah.
That's funny. She just ordered a dress that has a huge bow on the back.
Yeah, it's like I'm a little present.
What if you were saying that and my wedding dress had a huge bow on it?
I mean, sucks for you.
She wouldn't do that.
It doesn't, but
That's it.
Especially when you're like a small person, like the size that Claudia is, and the bow is half
Mhm.
your size.
Yeah.
that's literally this. I didn't get the dress thinking like I actually didn't realize it had this bow on it. But wait, I'm
I've been
trying
seeing
to
a lot of those
find.
big bows. I think it's like it's
Fuck.
trending right now.
Well, because it's very like
I'll go to a winery and somebody has like huge bow on their back. I'm like, God damn.
maybe it's their birthday or something. Hold on,
Yeah,
I'm trying
really.
to find
Could
what
be.
to show
Those
you.
are just so in right now, in general.
It'll be like
Claudia's whole
it'll
bridal
look
shower
nicer
theme is
than
bow.
this, but it'll be like this vibe.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. It's clean.
Yeah, very just like summery. It'll look a little
Feels
nicer
like
than that outfit.
like
but
rich beach
Mhm.
vibes or something.
yeah, that's what we're going
God
for.
damn, Kennedy, that just vibrated the house. I felt it through the couch. Do you
God
want to
damn.
do?
We're like a
Did
truck
Cory send you
driver
any?
now.
You want to do one question before we end it? He didn't send you any.
Sorry, guys. We don't have our access to our questions right now.
Yeah,
oh, wait,
you-
no, he did. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, let's just do one.
Okay.
Pick
It's
one,
about to blow.
and then we'll end it on that. Yeah, what? Someone's making some noise around here.
Oh, her machine goes crazy sometimes.
Kat, you're being great today.
Let me.
No wire eating. Proud of you. Are you bringing your cats to your wedding in little tuxedos?
I wish.
This one says, so for people that are in a relationship, so sorry, Kennedy. But of course, feel free to add your input. Okay.
Are you gonna read it?
Read it.
I was fine. Well, I'm trying to find the most
It
interesting.
doesn't apply to her, so she doesn't want to read it.
You,
No, I was-
started.
I
You don't. Oh my God.
Oh my god, that scares the shit out of
You
me every
probably
time
can't
it
hear it
happens.
in the mics, but some weird.
They definitely could hear
I was
that.
scrolling through them.
Oh
He
my
sent me
God.
several. I'm just going to do the first one. Hi, my name is Gabby. I'm calling from Washington State. I had a question for everyone, or I guess the ones that are in a long-term relationship. I'm currently 25 and my boyfriend is 30. He has spoken to me that he really wants kids. However, my whole life, I've always thought that I would never have or want kids. Just something that I've always thought for myself was just not have kids. And I guess recently spoke with a friend of mine who said that would be like that would be like a breaking up factor if their partner didn't want kids. And I guess my question is, if one of you didn't see yourself having kids and your partner does, would that be an end all be all for your relationship?
Yes.
Probably.
Well, this is
If the
interesting.
other
That's the
person
same.
wants
It's
it.
very similar age. I know Kate's older than that, but it's a very similar like age difference
Well,
than Kate and I.
put it this way. I think if someone wants kids and you don't, and they tell you, oh, fine, like I won't because you don't, they're going to resent you later and regret it or end up wanting to.
But also, if you don't want kids and they want kids, that's not a reason to have children. You should
No.
only ever have children because you genuinely want to be a parent and want to have a kid and will
Yep.
love that kid no matter what.
Here's one thing I do have to say. I think as you get older, a lot of different things change both in your life and in your brain. And you can go from like being dead
How old
set.
is she?
25.
You can be
He's 30.
dead set on not wanting kids,
Yep.
and then suddenly either you age or something happens, or I don't know, something
well-
you see something, and then suddenly your mind starts.
The thing is,
shifting
it's
and changing.
normally the right person can make you want to have kids.
Yeah,
I always have wanted to have kids. I definitely will say there were some times in my life where I was like, maybe I don't want to have kids, whatever. I was being cynical because I was like unhappy, whatever. I don't know. But when you're with the right person, it's like, and they make you want to have kids. I feel like that's kind of how
I
you
also
know you
think
want
like what
them.
Brandon said, you change. Because I remember my best friend in high school was like, she was like, I will never have kids. And then 20 years goes by, I see her out and she's like walking with like 2 kids. And I'm like, whose kids are these? And she's like, mine. And I'm like, don't you remember when you said you never, ever, ever would have kids? She goes, yeah, I changed. So it's like you change
Well, I
your
mean,
mind.
high school, yeah, you change from them.
Yeah,
but if
but
she's
even
25
years
and she
old-
still doesn't want them at
That's
all.
not true though. At 35,
Well,
she may decide she wants
you have to
even at
remember
30.
that everyone's opinion, whenever they tell you something, it's localized to a particular time period of their life, and it's likely going to change. It's very rare that a person stays like and has the same exact opinions from the time they're like a teenager, however old that girl was, to the time you're 30 plus years old. Like the amount of experiences you're going to go through and the fucking problems you have to deal with as you get older and a bunch of other things.
Mhm.
Your perspective and the people you meet
Yeah.
that have an impact on you.
I
your
would be
perspective is gonna
so
entirely
curious
change.
though to sit her down and ask why. Like anybody who doesn't want kids, I'm not
Well,
saying
here's-
it's bad. I would just want to know why, what the reasoning
Well,
is.
here's
Ask your daughter right here.
I have. And
When I was
understand
younger,
her.
I
Wait,
was
what?
dead set. When I was younger, I was dead set on never having kids and never getting married and
Right.
maybe just like being in
know.
relationships. And the main
I know
reason was
that.
because the only experiences that I really had with relationships and kids were all divorce. Like everyone in the neighborhood we lived in when we were kids, including you and dad, literally all got divorced and all had problems that they had to constantly deal with. And then seeing that when you're a kid, you're like, what's the good in this? Like, why would I ever want to
See,
do
that's
this?
not the reason I don't want to have kids at all. Like for me, it feels innate. Like I don't want to get pregnant. I don't see myself raising a child like that. I've said it before. I could see myself fostering kids when I'm older, if I'm at a point in my life where I still want to do it. But I do not see myself bringing a child into this world.
Kennedy's been through so much with her body and different
Yeah.
illnesses that it could really take a toll on her. And it is. I can understand her reasoning for it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
'Cause every time I say that, everyone's like, "You'll change your mind."
No, I
no,
can
I fucking
understand
won't. I felt this way
why.
my whole life. I'm 25.
I've
I know
watched
myself.
you go through
I've
it.
never
so
said
I
that.
understand.
I honestly don't.
Brandon says it all the time.
I don't picture you
I
having
said
kids.
I didn't necessarily say you would change your mind.
Scarlett
I
says the
said,
same thing.
No, what I said is people change.
I agree. I've
A
changed
lot.
a lot.
But
Just
within-
she said she would possibly foster kids. Doesn't mean that she wouldn't raise a child. She just doesn't want to
I
necessarily
don't want to
have it.
No part of me wants to like take care of a baby. I don't get baby fever. I don't get that feeling when I look at like I think babies are cute. I'm sure I'll love Claudia's children so much and love them as if they were my own. But like I do not want to be responsible for another human life.
I would say if you make it to like 30, between 30 and 33,
I promise
as a
you.
woman, if you still don't want children, you probably
Promise you I
won't.
will. Sometimes I'll have like it would be fun to have a daughter that I could connect with and stuff like the way that we do. But I don't think that's a reason to have a kid. I think I think the only people who should be having children, especially women getting pregnant or however they want to have a kid, you have to be 100% sure that you want this life. You want this for yourself. You're willing to devote your life to this child because the child becomes the most important thing in your life, more important than you. And
See, I will always 100% understand and totally get people that don't want to have kids because you are changing everything.
Yeah.
Like you are giving up so much of yourself and you can't just go back. You
No.
can't just like
and,
change.
and then you have your people who have the hardest time getting pregnant. Like one of my friends, like she literally went through everything to finally get pregnant. And, you know, even just all the way up until this kid was born, it was just like,
but Claudia was saying the other day,
difficult.
we were talking about this, how you can be sick for your entire pregnancy And she was like, yeah, that doesn't deter me because she wants to be a mom so bad and she always
Yeah,
has. For
I
me, it
get
would be
that.
like, if I got pregnant and I was sick the whole pregnancy, it would feel like there's no end to this because after this, then I have to give birth and then I have to take care of this child.
Yeah.
So it's not like an
it is hard if
exciting-
you're
Well, yeah, you get the
unfortunate.
reward. It's like
I
a
don't think
reward
it's
of
supposed to be
it.
like an exciting, fulfilling thing in the very beginning stages.
Actually, yeah.
I feel like
It
I
can
would
be
be
Well, I guess when
excited
you
and
have the kid and you
fulfilled.
see the kid for the first time.
When
think
I
it's a
found out I
mix.
was pregnant, from the second I saw that
Yes, it
test,
is.
No, that's not what I meant. I probably worded it wrong. I'm saying that it's intentionally going to be like a struggle.
Well,
Like
it's going
it's
to be
not-
hard, but
it's
if
very
it's something
hard.
that you really want and that like I feel like when you want to be a parent and you see your baby for the first time, like you are willing to do everything that is hard to
yeah.
be
See, I
a
also
good parent.
That right there was like, say in this couple, if it was switched, and you know the guy's the one that didn't want the kid, and she did. I can see a father doesn't have to, a guy doesn't have to go through being pregnant, but once that baby's born, he could completely change his mind because when that child is born, it's like you look at it and you're like, oh my God, you fall in love with this child.
I know, but still,
And-
I just feel like if there's any part of you that's unsure that you want kids, you should not be having kids.
Yeah, it's a really, 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 really big, probably one of the biggest life decisions you can possibly make, I feel like.
You're impacting an entire human being's whole life.
Yeah,
Like,
I definitely think recently I've become more like open to it as I've gotten older, but I also think right now I'm not ready. So it's like
mhm.
there's certain things, but because I'm more open to it, I think that the decisions that I make now are slightly different than what I would make otherwise. Because it's like, okay, if this were to happen in the future, like what should I be doing now to push towards it where I can be, once it does happen and I am a parent in the future, I could be like a good one.
Yeah.
But like
and that's what Claudia does.
I do also think I'm not the time.
Yeah.
For
Well,
me right now.
obviously, you want to
Truly,
go on a trip
Yeah.
for months.
Yeah. Well, also,
Yeah.
truly, I don't think you are ever fully ready
No, you're not.
to have
True.
a baby.
It's always scary.
I think no matter what, when you find out that you really did it and like you're gonna in 9 months have like a human to take care of, like, yeah, that's fucking scary
Yeah.
because you're like, what is this gonna be like? Who are they gonna be? How am I gonna make sure that they grow up to be a good person
It's
and still want to
I
be
don't know,
around
I was
me?
never
And-
scared.
I mean,
ever.
I just feel
It's
like with the
shocking.
world
Ever.
nowadays, there's so much
That's
that
a
you
whole other reason that I couldn't
hear about that it can make you have all these worries.
Even the anxiety I have with my cats when something's wrong with them. I'm like, if I had a kid, I feel like it would just I'm just too anxious of a person to have a child.
I didn't think about
you
any
do
of
have
that.
to remember you're hearing more bad things because all the bad things are hyper surfaced, like they're right in front of your face. Back then it's like the only bad things you ever heard were in like a small community or something, so you kind of
Yeah.
just like would have a kid and be like, you wouldn't think those negative thoughts.
I think a lot of anxiety now in younger people comes just because simply the fact that we hear and see so much stuff online.
Yes.
Like we take in so much negative information all the time and see so many horror stories and
Well, also, it's not even safe in America for your kids to go to school. So
God, if
yeah,
I
that's
would
why,
have,
like,
well, I
the-
homeschooled,
but I
so-
think too a big
Not me.
part of it for me
I
is like
know,
for
it's
one
sad.
looking at Jesse and knowing that he's going to be a really really good dad.
yeah.
And then also too that I am lucky enough to have the life that I have that I can be home with my kids as much as I want to and
Yeah, I think that's a big thing.
and work
Yeah.
at home and you
And
know
also, like, I have no doubt
homeschool
in my
them.
mind that you and Jesse both will be such good parents. You're both very emotional and empathetic and thoughtful, and you both love each other so much that like nothing bad could come of your love. Like you have such a authentic, real love that I don't know. I just admire it so much, but I feel like it makes so much sense for you guys to start a family from that because that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
The way that I look at it is like, this is a really weird perspective, but like, if I was from the perspective of the baby, I would want to be born into this world. Like I know the parent doesn't want a kid to be born somewhere where they see all these like bad things, but like, I don't know. I think you have a choice where you can either see the world as a bad place or a good place.
Yeah.
I try to see it as a good place. Bad things happen. Like that's the way it is. Bad things happen, but I try to see it as a good place, and I'm happy that I'm alive and happy that mom decided to have us. And by having a kid, I would think if the kid lives a good life, they would also think the same way that I do.
Mhm.
So it's not like you're bringing the kid into a bad world where it's going to be tortured. First off, the kid's going to be hyper privileged being born into a family like you either way. So it's like that kid will have no issues really. It's not like your kid's being born in like, you're giving pregnancy in like a sewer in the middle of nowhere, and you have absolutely no money and you have no clothes, and you just have to force yourself through it. Like,
anyone's ever given birth in a sewer?
But even so, it's like, I just think that it's good to take the perspective like the world is a good place. You just have to be smart enough not to venture down into the bad paths that it presents. Like, don't be dumb.
Yeah, but that is also still a privileged opinion, because some people are born into shit situations.
And you know what? I feel like even too if I was giving birth in a sewer and I had no money, no clothes, whatever, I feel like you can still
love your child.
Raise
That's
a
what I
really
was
good
gonna
kid.
say.
You
It doesn't
can-
matter where they're born as long as you are strong enough to give them that
The argument that I'm trying
love.
to make here though is that I don't think that you should ever be like fearful that you're bringing a kid into a bad world, because you sort of make like, it is like, you will make the world good for the kid, and you'll show them, hey, these are like bad things, but like the world's a good place. Look at all these things that you can do.
I know. I think it's more of the what you can't control. Like, you can't control if you send your kid to school and find out someone bullied them that day. I mean, obviously I would put a stop to it. I wouldn't let it keep happening.
God forbid there's a shooter in the school, because that's the thing nowadays.
Yeah, that's sickening.
Here's the thing. At the end of the day, every single thing you do has a risk factor associated with
And
it.
we all
There's a
can
chance that you'll get hurt. There's a chance that you'll die. You drive a car every day. Something could happen. You're going out on a whim every single day of your life, taking that chance. And you have to just accept that. But here's the thing. The more of like a positive perspective you have, and the more good you see in things, in my opinion, the less chance something bad will end up happening. Or if something bad does happen, you'll be able to actually handle it.
Right.
And it won't ruin you inside.
Right.
That's my goal, is to be able to just simply handle things the way that I would like to be able to.
I'm looking into Reiki. No joke. Because I think that it's a positive way of looking at things and learning how to use tools in your body that every single one of us have to calm ourselves down.
Honestly, I have a really good like mentality at this point in my life. Even the other day I was really struggling because I wasn't feeling good, and it was a really hard day for me. But after I let myself feel all of the negative emotions, whatever, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get myself through this. My body's gonna heal. I'm gonna be healthy, and I'll be okay.
Yeah,
and
I think that's a huge thing.
I really do too.
Allow the negative
I did not
in, but
used to think like that.
you don't let the negative
I used to let the negative completely devour me, and it was a horrible feeling.
You have to welcome it in and then say goodbye to it.
And then be like, all right, I'm going to feel this, and now I'm going to move on from it because I don't want to be stuck here forever. You have a choice.
Exactly.
Everything in life has a choice.
Yeah, everything starts in your mind. So the quality of your current mindset determines the way that you perceive everything. Here's an example. This one might be stupid, but this thing in my hand that I have, I was thinking about it. It's never going away. Like, it could get to the point where I can't use my hand, and you can't cure it.
Have you looked on Reddit?
Yeah, I looked on
like
ChatGPT everywhere.
Moving your skin around.
Well, it's actually
That's
splitting
needles.
the skin in my hand, but basically it's a
did that.
contracture in your hand, and over time your hand starts going like this until it almost turns into like a closed fist, and you can't open it back up. And the only way to get it open back up is the doctor has to put a needle in there and move it back and forth, which ruptures the cord that is being created that's pulling the hand down. That you can temporarily have it go back up, and then
Is that what he's doing?
It eventually goes back. It has to be bad enough for them to do the surgery. I can still keep my hand flat, but if it gets like this, then they have to cut it. But also, and he's like, another thing is you can get it in another hand, or you can get it on your feet if it's like a thing. And I'm like, okay, well, I could over obsess with this every single day and be like, have this fear that I'm going to have this disgusting
Literally
like claw hand when I'm an adult or something. Or I can be like, okay, it's part of me now. I'm going to do what I can to deal with it. But I'm going to be grateful because it could be a whole lot worse. I could lose my fucking hand.
But also, you sitting there stressing about, oh, it could happen in my foot, it could happen in that, blah, blah, but it's not right now.
Or it's not right now. And by thinking that, maybe you end up like whatever negative energy that you're promoting inside of your head, then
Your fears
manifests in your body.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you look at that way, then if you think about it the opposite way, like Reiki says that happens, like Reiki literally can heal people, and there's so many stories out there about how it has healed
So
people.
what she's talking about is that what do? You basically put like your hand over somebody and
well,
it heals them
I
in some
haven't
way?
really gotten into it too much. I've only like watched like one course of it, but it's basically you are taught how to be positive. You do all these things to heal yourself first. So yeah, like there's all the chakras, and then you put your hand over the third eye, and then
Honestly,
and
I
listening to
feel
music,
like
and it just brings in positive. But hold on, they say that the light comes through you and comes through your hands. The energy comes through your hands. We're all energy, so it just keeps going in a circle. And then eventually, Reiki masters who have been around for centuries have been doing this and actually heal people in conjunction with medical, stuff that they have to have done too. But it's a positive thing, and it's like it takes time. It's like it could be like 4 to 5 months instead of instant, because you're not doing something Western medicine. You're doing it in conjunction with that.
So it takes
time.
I think these are all similar versions. I think these are kind of like different versions of the same thing in a sense.
I agree.
Where it's what the pattern that I recognized is when people are going through extreme stress, like stress that debilitates you and renders you useless. You can't do anything. Physical problems end up manifesting themselves as a consequence that become chronic.
Yeah.
So even if you eventually fix that problem that you have, they might still be there. And I see it happen. I'm not going to like name the people that I've seen it happen to, but I've seen it happen firsthand, and it scares me because I'm like, okay, well, if I ever fall into that kind of like mindset, well, what can I do to never fall into that kind of mindset would be the thing, because I noticed 1-to-1 extreme stress and anxiety manifests
health issues.
all of these health issues that then remain chronic, and then you have to just keep dealing with. So what happens is then you have to deal with them. You get more stress and you start spiraling downwards, and it gets really bad. But I also think that you can spiral upwards too.
Yeah, that's exactly what Reiki is.
So what you have to really do I think that's a form of pushing your mindset in the right direction. So that can do it. Like contemplation. What I mean by contemplation is like any kind of like journaling would be a form of contemplation where you're like thinking deeply about, okay, why do I think so negatively? Can I like dig to the deepest parts of it, figure out where it's rooted, and you're not gonna like be able to like pull out the bad infected like tree from the roots right away. But maybe you can figure out like
find the infected roots.
Yeah, maybe you can find it and then start treating it.
Yeah.
And being like, okay, what can I do to fix this so my mind doesn't go in that bad
I've always
direction?
had the thought of I'd rather be delusionally positive than delusionally negative, because a lot of people who are overly negative, you're being delusional but in a negative way. And they don't realize that, they don't see it like that. But instead you could shift that energy into delusional positivity. Yeah, everything's going to happen for me. Everything's going to work out for me. It just is. Like, that's so much more fun to think like that than like,
and at the end of the day, that's the choice. And it's the same choice as deciding if the world's good or bad.
Yep.
You have to decide, am I going to think positively about everything, or am I going to think negatively about everything? And when you start falling into that negativity, that's the time when you got to go into contemplation. You got to think, why am I doing this? Like sit down.
Too many people just aren't self-aware.
Why are you thinking that? Why, as soon as you feel a bad thought, and like, when you get that feeling where like a bad thought, it resonates through your body. You can feel the bad thought in your body.
Yeah. And now when I do that, I'm like, what is this doing in here?
Yeah. What's that feeling? Why do I feel that way?
What's the root of this?
That's a sign that you need to think about why you're feeling that way. And you might not be able to get rid of it completely, but at least you can recognize why it's there. And usually just recognizing why it's there, like starts solving a lot of the problems.
And also talking about it out loud or writing about it. Like getting it out of your body physically. It just, people don't underestimate any form of like mental work.
Well, then that's the thing. You have to remember too, you're going to get those feelings throughout the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You're going to always get that feeling in your body of something that's wrong, and you have to address it.
Yep.
And I don't know, you got to make that decision. Like that's the easiest thing I think about. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling something bad in my body. I'm thinking some negative thoughts. Why is it happening? How can I address it? And then you always want to push your mindset towards more positive thoughts, because every action you take will be with that positive thought in mind.
Or even if that's too hard for you, to just push it to positive thoughts, just to acknowledge that these negative thoughts are not doing you any good. They never do. Like,
you're ruminating. You're just sitting there like
ruminating. Yeah.
Let's think about it. Maybe if I think about it 30 more times, it will get better.
And if you can't control that and you have horrible OCD, then you should probably be on medication. I don't have OCD, but I have really bad anxiety.
I was gonna say you can't always control
Medication
the rumination.
helps. I hate when people judge other people for taking
it
medication.
helps if you're too wound up with it. Like I think one time in my life I had to go on it, and it really benefited me at the time, but it was temporary. So I feel like I'm the kind of person that, I can get stressed out from things, but then I can literally sit down and just talk myself out of whatever it is most of the time. It's just dumb. It was a dumb thing that pushed
when
me
you get
over
those
the
types
edge.
of feelings.
Food's here.
All right, we got to end this.
Yeah, real quick. When you get those types of feelings that are that negative, take it as a sign that you need to look into something.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way that I see it. I don't think every single person in the world has some kind of like mental disorder. I think it's literally just part of being human.
Yeah.
When you get that feeling in your body where you feel uneasy, call it anxiety or depression or whatever you want. I just think it's like a bad feeling in your body and in your head.
It's your body asking you to reflect on something.
Yeah, you need to reflect on something and
maybe get help.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like most of it's inside of you. It can be fixed if you if you ask yourself the right questions. And another thing is putting yourself around the right people too. Because if you're always around people who are like negative and talking like shit, then that's not good either. So yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching and listening. Maybe we'll put a new phone number. We need to get a new phone number. Okay, so phone number down in the comment section. Leave us a message or a voicemail, and we'll try to answer it on the podcast.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, watching, guys. Bye.